Hi, I'm Nelson and this is the IELTS and General English Training. In this video, we are going to read a book by Charles Dickens. This is a classic novel called Great Expectations. After reading the book, we are going to discuss the themes, the lessons that Charles Dickens wanted us to learn from the book. We shall discuss all the themes together. I'm going to play the recording such that you listen to the voice of a native speaker. You will learn how to read at the right speed and how to pronounce words clearly. Let's begin the story.
Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. Part 10. Estella.
The title of the book is Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. We are going to read part 10. This is the last part of the book. Remember, we have read part 1 up to 9. We are going to conclude the book. After concluding, we are going to discuss the themes. Part 10 is about Estella. By now, the book, all of us should be knowing about Estella because the main characters in this book are Pip and Estella.
So Pip begins to think about Estella again. There is news from London. Bentley Drummle is a very bad husband. He hits Estella. She never goes out. People say that she is very unhappy.
I'm going to repeat what they have said in reported speech. I'm going to make many changes. I'll play the direct speech. You'll hear the characters speaking directly, and then I'm going to try to change their words in reported speech. So you will be enjoying the story. You will be trying to improve your English by learning how to report. This is what they call reported speech. Now get your notebook and copy only the part of indirect speech. It's very important that when you're writing, you begin a sentence with a capital letter. Names of people begin with the capital letters. London, Estella, Bentley, Drummle. Those are names of people, so they begin with capital letters. Write properly with a nice handwriting, and this is one paragraph. So Pip began to think about Estella again. There was news from London. Bentley Drummle was a very bad husband. He hit Estella. She never went out. People said that she was very unhappy.
Poor Estella. She's learning to have a heart.
You're very sad, Pip. Can we help you?
This is indirect speech. Poor Estella. They are sorry. That is called sympathy. Pip had sympathy for Estella and believed that she was learning to have a heart. Joe and Biddy told Pip that he was very sad and they asked him if they could help him.
No, my friends. I must leave England. I want to go to Africa or Australia. I want to work hard and forget my problems.
Pip refused their help and he informed them that he had to leave England and go to Africa or Australia because he wanted to work hard and forget his problems.
Pip leaves England. He works hard in the East and tries to forget everything in the past. After 11 years, he comes back. He visits Joe and Biddy and their child. Their son's name is Little Pip. Pip decides to visit Satis house for the last time. Miss Havisham is dead. The house is not there, only ruins. He walks in the garden.
Pip left England. He worked hard in the East and tried to forget everything in the past. After 11 years, he came back. He visited Joe and Biddy and their child. Their son's name was Little Pip. Pip decided to visit Satis house for the last time. Miss Havisham was dead. The house was not there, only ruins. He walked in the garden.
Here is the garden. I remember when I was a boy here. Estella was a beautiful little girl, and I was a poor boy from the blacksmith's family. I remember the house. I remember the clocks.
Pip looked at the garden and remembered when he was a little boy there, how Estella had been a beautiful little girl, how he was a poor boy from the blacksmith's family. He remembered the house and the clocks. Remember, this is indirect speech, and I advise you to copy the indirect speech paragraphs in your book, and you try to remember the changes that I have made.
But wait, there is someone in the garden. I can see a woman. She is coming towards me through the mist. Who is it?
He saw someone coming through the mist and wondered who it was.
Estella comes out of the mist and meets Pip in the garden. She is still very beautiful, but her face is sad.
Estella came out of the mist and met Pip in the garden. She was still very beautiful, but her face was sad.
Estella, why are you here?
Bentley Drummle is dead. There was an accident with his horse. I am here to say goodbye to Satis house.
Pip called Estella and he asked her why she was there. And she replied that Drummle was dead and she was there to say goodbye to Satis house.
And do you have a heart now?
Yes, Pip. I have a heart. But it is too late.
He asked her if she had a heart then, and she replied that she did, but it was too late.
Pip is very happy to see Estella again. They talk for a long time in the garden. They hold hands. They are not young and free. They have a lot of problems, but they go out of the garden together.
Pip was very happy to see Estella again. They talked for a long time in the garden. They held hands. They were not young and free. They had a lot of problems, but they went out of the garden together. Remember, I'm changing the story from direct speech to indirect speech.
We are friends, Estella.
We must be friends apart, Pip.
We are friends, Estella. We must be friends apart. What's the meaning of that phrase? What's to be friends apart? It means even if you don't live together, you are still friends. In other words, Pip and Estella became very good friends. Now let's change this to indirect speech. They promised to be friends forever.
Pip knows the meaning of his life. Money is not important. Being a gentleman is not important. Great expectations are not important. Friendship is important. He is friends with Estella. They are together. There is no shadow of goodbye.
Pip knew the meaning of his life. Money was not important. Being a gentleman was not important. Great expectations were not important. Friendship was important. He was friends with Estella. They were together. There was no shadow of goodbye. That's the end of our story. Now we go to the themes. The themes in the novel, the messages or the lessons about life. The first theme is ambition and dreams. The novel looks at the dangers of having great ambitions. For example, how did it happen in the story? Now, all of you must have read this book, so you should know how having great ambitions brought dangers. Which dangers? Try to complete the paragraph by writing examples from the book that we have just written. The second theme is social class. The novel looks at the problems creating classes of the rich and poor. For example, how did it happen in the story? Which problems did the divisions in classes of people bring? Complete the paragraph to discuss the social class theme. Our next theme is forgiveness. The novel looks at the importance of forgiveness. For instance, in the novel, we have many situations of forgiveness. Someone doing something bad and then they forgive. Which ones are those? Add the details to this paragraph. Who were your favorite characters? How do you answer this question? You follow the guidelines that I'm going to give you. Before you tell us your favorite characters, it's important for you to know these adjectives, because your answer should have adjectives. Remember, who was your favorite? Favorite means it's something good. So someone who is your favorite because of the good adjectives. First, let's read them together. Read after me. Brave, forgiving, brilliant, ambitious, compassionate or kind, honest, wise, faithful, loyal. You pick some of these and you add them to your answers. For example, well, frankly speaking, I don't have a favorite character, but if I were to answer your question, I would put the character that you like. Firstly, I like that character because he was, put an adjective. For example, how? In addition, he was, put a second adjective. For instance, you describe. Our second question is, who were your least favorite characters? Least favorite. Again, we need the bad adjectives. These are bad adjectives. These are the reasons why you didn't like those characters. Read after me. Brutal and cruel, dishonest, heartless, unfaithful, jealous, proud or arrogant, hateful, evil or wicked, dishonest. Well, to be quite honest, I don't really have a least favorite character. But if I were to answer your question, I would choose a character you don't like. Firstly, I hated that character because he was put an adjective. How? For example, in addition, he was put a second adjective. For instance, support the adjective that you have written.